Can you hear me? Are you ready to do some math? Scared you? Okay, it's time to go. Unit 4, day 4. East side, west side. I don't know. I belong on the west side. I'm on the west side of Rochester, New York. Thank you for joining me at MrKrauseMath.com for Unit 4, Day 4, Division of Polynomials. I should have been an announcer for some cool movies. I think I would have done all right. All right, be careful, be careful, be careful. We're dividing. Don't do this. 7 goes into 21 3 times. Get rid of 1x, get rid of 1x. Oh, my God, that was so easy, Mr. Krause. Give me a harder one. Don't do it. Please do not do that. Scary wrong. Scary wrong. Makes me kind of upset to think you'd do that. You need to group these together and factor out a GCF. In this case, the GCF is 7x squared. And I'm left with x minus 2. On the denominator, it's 21x. Once you have factored everything and you've got multiplication here. Remember, this is one big thing, x minus 2. And I got multiplication down here. Now I can start dividing out the common factors. 7 goes into 21 3 times. This 1x cancels with one of those. My final answer is x times x minus 2 all over 3. Yes, there are other ways of doing this problem, but this is my favorite way of doing this problem. And since it's my favorite way, I would believe that it should be your favorite way. Well, at least I hope so. All right. In the numerator, I can take out a 2, and I'm left with 2. I think I wrote this problem down wrong. Nope, it didn't copy over right. This should be an x here. And I wonder if that was the problem on day 3. I had a problem on day 3. I wonder if there was I think there was an x missing or something like that. That x is missing. So I actually should have taken out a 2x. And I'm left with 2x squared plus x minus 3. I believe that's right. Yeah, definitely. Definitely right. Well, now I can just cancel that 2x with that 2x, and I'm left with 2x squared plus x minus 3. See ya. This one will factor the numerator. It is x plus 7, x plus 1. Now, I'm not going through all the crazy factoring with you guys. You guys got to get comfortable. This is x plus 1 in the denominator. Those cancel. Left with x plus 7. This is stuff you probably should have done in just regular old algebra. Again, this is one group. This is one group. The same back in here on this problem. Factor the numerator. It's x minus 3. X minus 4. On the denominator, I have x minus 3. Well, the x minus 3's cancel, and I'm left with x minus 4. So that took you through some really simple division. Stuff you've done a lot over the past few years. The next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the next 5 questions are not going to be nearly as simple. So, here's how these are done. Now, I could do this, and I could divide by x plus 1, but that's not what I'm looking for. I want you to work on your long division on these. I'm working on long division of these. So here's what I'm actually looking for you to do. And I want you to practice your long division, because when you get into pre-calculus next year, you're going to have to do a lot of this, or not a lot of it, but some of it. And then you'll learn something called synthetic division, which is kind of crazy. So this is x cubed minus 2x squared minus 5x plus 6. We're going to do long division just like we did in 5th grade or 4th grade or 3rd grade or wherever you learn this. In this case, we're really only interested in this. What do I have to multiply x by to get x cubed? In order to do that, I need x squared. X times x squared is x cubed. So just like before, you're going to multiply x squared times x, and you get x cubed. X squared times negative 1, and you're going to get negative x squared. Here comes the hard part. You got to remember, we're going to be subtracting. So this is subtracting, and I'm subtracting off this negative, which makes a positive. So negative 2x squared plus x squared is negative x squared. Just like in 5th grade long division, this comes down, minus 5x. So now, let me get rid of some of this stuff. What am I going to multiply x by to get negative x squared? Well, that's got to be minus x. So negative x times x is negative x squared. These should always match right here. And negative x times negative 1 is positive x. Again, though, be careful. This is the hard part. We're subtracting. So you're going to subtract here, which turns this into a positive, but this into a negative. So I end up with negative 6x. Bring down the positive 6. And get rid of some lines here. Now I want to see, I'll use black. What do I have to multiply x by to get negative 6x? Well, that's simple. Negative 6. Negative 6 times x. Negative 6x. Negative 6 times negative 1. Negative 6. I'm going to subtract, which means I'll add here and... Whoa, this should have been a positive 6. This should have been a positive 6. I apologize. Because it's negative 6 times negative 6. That's positive 6. So when I subtract, this one turns into a positive. This one turns into a negative. And at least for this year, for me, those should always turn out to be 0. And if it was a factor, that means it divides in evenly, since it's a factor. So, and it did. No remainder. There was no remainder here. But it asked for what are the other factors. Well, if it asks for what are the other factors, I have to keep going. I have to factor this thing. X and x. What multiplies the negative 6? That adds up to negative 1. Well, 1's plus, 1's minus, so it's negative 2 and positive 3. Excuse me, negative 3 and positive 2. And those are the other two factors. All right, let's move. I'm going to ask this question a different way. Well, hold on. Let me go back to this question. This question, the three factors of this were x minus 1, x minus 3, and x plus 2. If you factored this thing completely, that's what you'd end up with. X plus 1, x minus 1, x minus 3, x plus 2. Those aren't the roots. The roots are 1, 3, and negative 2. These are the roots. These are what make this quadratic equal to 0. If I want to go back to the factors, notice it's the opposite sign. So as I go to this next problem and I say, okay, one of my roots of this quadratic is 6. Well, again, when I'm at the bottom and I go backwards, that means one of my factors has to be x minus 6. So x minus 6 has to be factor. One of the factors of this, and then I just go back to town. Now in this case, when I'm done, they're asking not for what the other factors are, they're asking for the other roots. So I'm going to have to actually solve these. Minus 46x and then plus 168. Oh my God, such huge, humongous numbers. Let's get going. X times x squared is x cubed. So x times x is x cubed. X times minus 6 is minus 6x. We're going to subtract, which turns this into a plus. Makes this 3x squared. Minus 46x. X times 3x, so positive 3x, is 3x squared. So that's 3x squared. And negative 6, this, times positive 3x is negative 18x. All right, let me get rid of some of my lines. And get to a new color. We're going to subtract, which means I turn add. And 46, negative 46 plus 18, I believe, is negative 28x. Bring down the 168. X here times negative 28 gives me negative 28x. And negative 28 times negative 6 is positive 168. We're going to subtract, which turns this to plus, this to minus, remainder of 0, which I should have. Now, if I want the other roots, I have to factor this and set it equal to 0. If I want the other roots of this, I got to figure out what makes this equal to 0, which simply means I have to factor it and finish it and solve it and make sure I see what values make it equal to 0. So x plus 7, x minus 4 is the factoring here. That shouldn't have been any guess. But I'm not done there, because if it asked for what the other factors are, I'd be finished. But it asked for the other roots. So my other roots are x equals negative 7 and x equals positive 4. Those are my roots. And I'm done. Those are the other two answers. This one's just asking for factors, so I don't have to finish it. So x plus 7. Got 3 left. 3 division problems left, and I'm done for this video. Plus 63x squared minus 4x minus 28. Now again, I know that I go pretty quickly. And some of you are like, well, I wish you'd slow down. I wish you'd slow down. I'm trying to do it in color. I'm trying to help you out with it. You can always back up, rewind. I'm trying to tell you every single thing that I'm doing every time. And if you miss it because I went too quickly, back up, see what you did. I were you by now, you might want to try this on your own. See how you do on your own. Okay? On this particular problem, we're going to look to see what do I have to multiply x by to get 9x cubed. Well, that would be 9x squared. So 9x squared times x is 9x cubed. That's what you want to happen. These always have to match at the beginning. 9x times 7, on the other hand, is positive 63x squared. They don't have to match. And in fact, this case they did, which makes it a little weird. I'm going to subtract and subtract. I end up with 0. Well, that means I have to bring down both of these. Minus 4x minus 28. That's a new thing. I have to bring down both of these. What do I have to multiply x by to get minus 4x? Well, minus 4. So negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times positive 7 is negative 28. Well, they match again. Subtract, add, remainder of 0. But you're not done yet, because it says, what are the other things? Factor it completely. What are the other two factors? So I'm going to take this over here. Hopefully, you've done some of my earlier lessons, and you realize, oh yeah, that's the difference of perfect squares. I could factor that to 3x plus 2, 3x minus 2. Done. That's it. No more. That's it. 2 left. 2 left. Try them on your own. Pause it. Pause me in a funny face. Here, I'll make a few funny faces. See if you can pause it when I'm making funny faces. See, if you pause it when I'm doing this, and you call your mom over, she's like, what is wrong with that guy, and why do I allow him to teach you mathematics? You know, see? If you pause it there, you get to see me making funny faces. Bulls. Then you call your parents over and say, who is this psycho guy? While you do the math problem. You pause me at a funny face. You do the math problem. See if you got it right. The whole time, every time you need a joke, just look up. I see this crazy mug of mine. All right, now unpause it and let's get going. All right, in this case, my root is 2. That means my factor is x minus 2. Because if I was to see if this is a root, I'd say, oh yeah, my root's 2. So to go backwards, it's just an opposite sign. Now, if you needed help with that, pause it now. Okay, now we're back. Let's get going. So my factor is x minus 2 into 2x cubed minus 15x squared plus x plus 42. Bam. What do I have to multiply? Where did my mouse go? What do I have to multiply x by to get 2x squared? Or 2x cubed? Well, that would be 2x squared. 2x cubed. And 2x times negative 2 is minus 4x squared. Subtract, add, and I get negative 11x squared. Bring down the x plus x. And then what do I have to multiply x by in order to get negative 11x squared? Well, that's not bad. That's minus. That seems weird. 11x. That's right. That's right. That's right. Minus 11x times x is minus 11x squared. Minus 11x times negative 2 is plus 22x. We're going to subtract. That means this is add. That means this is subtract. That means negative 21x. Bring down the 42. What do I have to multiply x by to get negative 21x? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? Bueller? Negative 21, of course. Negative 21 times x is negative 21x. Negative 21 times negative 2 is positive 42. Subtract means I add, which means I subtract. I get a big goose egg. I'm not done yet because it asks for the other factors. So I have to actually factor this thing. 2x squared minus 11x minus 21. Oh my God, Mr. Cross, this is so difficult. I don't know what I'm doing. It's so hard, bro. You can do it, man. You can do it. 2x is 2x times x. It's really only one way to multiply to 21. There's actually a million, kabillion, zillion. But the easiest is 7 and 3. I want 11. So I think if I do 14 and 3, that gives me 11. You're thinking, where do you get 14? Well, if I put my 7 here and I put my 3 here, this is 14 and this is 3. I want negative, so I'll put a negative there and a positive there. Now, if it asks for the other factors, I would be done. But it asks for the other roots. So I actually have to give them, I have to see what makes this equal to 0. Well, this one's easy. It's x equals 7. And by now, this one shouldn't be too bad. It's x equals negative 3 over 2. One left. Ooh, this one looks tough. 1 is a root. That means a factor is x minus 1. I'm not going to lie, that 18x cubed just scared me. I'm thinking, those are huge, humongous numbers. I'm not going to be able to handle it. I'm scared. I can't do it. I'm not going to be able to get this one right. I'm going to make a dumb mistake. By the way, if you're not getting these correct, by the way, pause it now. All right, enough of the dumb faces. If you're not getting these right, you're probably going to find out that you just made a teeny tiny dumb mistake. And that's okay. That's okay. I can find those. So let's see. X times 18x squared is 18x cubed. That's 18x cubed. 18x squared times negative 1 is minus 18x squared. Subtract, add. So negative 71 plus 18x squared is negative 53x squared. Bring down the 73x, so plus 73x. All right, x times negative 53x is negative 53x squared. Negative 53x times negative 1 is positive 53x. Subtract, add, subtract. I get 20x. Bring down the minus 20. Almost done. 20 times it's making me worried. Okay, this should be plus 20. So 20 times x is 20x. 20 times negative 1 is negative 20. X. I subtract. I add. I get out. I get 0. So now I got to finish factoring this. Oh, no, this isn't bad. Let's see. 18x cubed minus squared. Minus 53x plus 20 equals 0. Let's try. I'm going 9x and 2x. And I'm also going 5 and 4 on these. I'm just not sure where. Well, I can't put a 4 here, so I'd have to put a 5 here and a 4 here. And they both have to be the same sign. They both would have to be negative. Let's see. That's negative 45 and negative 8. That's negative 53. Good. So, that's the end of the factoring. But I'm not done, because this one gives me x equals 4/9 as one of my other roots, and x equals 5/2 as my last root. All right, division is over. So we took care of multiplying, dividing, and that was yesterday. Subtraction yesterday. Today, day 4, we take care of division. Hopefully you guys understand division. If you need some more example problems, go back, see if you can figure out where you made your mistakes. See if you can find out where your simple mistakes. If you need more example problems, let me know. Shoot me an email. Again, if you're liking what you're seeing, subscribe to the video. The more videos, the better popular I look. And us math teachers, we could use all the help we can get because we're kind of lame. All right? Peace out. Have a good weekend. Wherever it is, whatever you're listening to this, take care. And adios, amigos. Tschüss. Tschüss means goodbye in German. Auf Wiedersehen means the official goodbye in German. Peace out, sisters.